Good morning. Happy Sunday. Uh, Time to do something the same but yet different. So, the plan for today is going to be to work on a new repo uh, for. I would describe this as kind of um, a clean slate React admin project. I think I mentioned in past streams, that I had been experimenting with a Tailwind kind of not a rewrite of React admin, but using its core components, and then replacing all of the Material UI based components with Tailwind ones that were custom for me. And I've gotten some ways into that, but I've also realized I have a long ways to go. A long ways to go. Just to have the components that I would need, let alone all, like, one for one would be very difficult. It would be, a large project, but just having the things that I want and having it do all the things, it would be a lot of work. And I don't want to hold up other stuff for it. I think that I want to do as a separate repo this. I guess ultimately this is less of an admin UI for Glowing Telegram, but more of just the UI. This will be the project that will be the UI. So like in the Glowing Telegram project, which I have here, right? We have kind of a mono repo set up for Glowing Telegram, where we have a front end, and then we have like all of our node Vite stuff all in here. And this is all well and all, but I think what I'd like to do is a couple of things. One, I want to create a new repo. I think I'll probably just call this Glowing Telegram front end. And how this relates to our other two repositories. So this will become kind of the maybe just the back end. And then we'll have probably a bunch of repos for different kind of components that are the larger pieces is my thought. And then something that occurs to me, I was kind of doing some brainstorming the other day about naming for some of this stuff. Let me check my notes. There we go. Some stuff I have in ChatGPT, which I'm not going to put on stream because I guess I could, if I hit the sidebar. Yeah, do that. Let's see. I think there was maybe one that I kind of liked as Harbinger. Let's see. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna get too hung up on names. Names are hard. Everyone who codes knows that names are hard, so we're gonna skip over that for a second. Maybe at some point I could create an org. I think there's some reasons why I wouldn't want to do that. So I could create a free org. Just as a way to group the repos together. Okay, I might look into that later. kind of not get distracted. So I'm just gonna make this. How about Fuzzy Octo Giggle? This is where the name Glowing Telegram came from, by the way, is like the random name generator. Oh wait, you have to refresh the page, don't you? Okay, Didactic Barnacle, Improved Sniffle, Solid Giggle. Okay, anyway, we're just gonna call this Glowing Telegram front end. Of course, it's available. Front end, web app for Glowing Telegram projects. There we go. And it's public, and we'll, yeah, I'm creating a public repository in my personal account. That's right. See, if I had an org, I could create it under there, and I might just call it. I might give it a shorter name, but that's fine. We're just going to create an empty repo, and I'm going to copy that. And what are we going to do? So I'm going to open a. Let's go to a terminal really quick. Go up here. We're going to create. Folder. Telegram front end. Hey, and then we have some handy commands here. Init, add readme, commit. Okay, cool. Let's do all that. Let's fix that. All right, so, and we pushed. So if I refresh this page now, there we go, Glowing Telegram front end. So prior to the stream, no, I didn't make it a separate, this is not a cooking show moment, but I did make some notes about kind of what we want to do here. So React Admin 5 came out a while ago. This is part of the reason why I wanted to do a kind of a fresh start kind of thing for this, because I have been using React Admin since like version 3 something, I think, maybe even before that. And between me just doing stuff and then also Copilot generating stuff and me accepting it, I suspect there are a lot of things that I've done in the front end for Glowing Telegram and other places where I'm not necessarily doing things the current recommended way. So what I want to do with this project is we're going to get our repo set up. We're going to copy some configuration stuff from Studio Succotash, which is that other repo I had open, that I have open here. I'm going to open a new window, file, open folder. I'm going to figure out how to do this inside of WSL. Let's see, if I open this, so this inside of WSL, and then I open folder. There we go. Great. So, like I was saying, there's a lot of config stuff that I've kind of been experimenting with inside of Studio Succotash, which is this front end thing that I've been experimenting with. But this is all set up. The reason I'm not using this, like I said, I was experimenting with using Tailwind, and I may want to continue working on that. I just don't want that work to hold up this stuff. You know, at some point I may get frustrated enough with Material UI that I want to spend more time on this, but that's not today. So there's some stuff I want to copy. I'm going to grab git ignore biome.json, which is our biome config, which is the thing that I'm I've started using recently that replaces like prettier and ESLint. We're going to copy license, copy package.json. I think we'll probably have to clean up some things. The TS configs and the Vite config. And we'll probably copy some other stuff, but let's start with that. Copy. Can I just paste? There we go. Okay, so let's start, because I know there's going to be some cleanup here in the package.json. For that for a second. So this is going to be glowing Telegram friends. And I think all of we will have storybook. Have all of that stuff. I don't think I need these. I'm not going to be using RA data JSON server. Don't think I want that either. And I don't want Tailwind. Okay. So that's a start. Is there anything in here that I need to change? Nope. What about in here? What about in here? Do I have something Tailwind specific in the biome config? Doesn't look like it. License is a GPL, which basically all of my projects are. Okay. What else? I'm not going to open this file. Index.html. Okay, that we should be able to just copy as is. We'll just update. I'm just going to call this glowing Telegram. Icon. Oops. So presumably in public there's a vite.svg. So we'll. Is this a copy or is this a move? It's a nothing. Copy. Paste. Rename. No. VS Code settings. I may want a lot of this. I think I'll skip the extensions for now. Settings I want, and tasks I want. And I spent a good number of minutes figuring out how to parse the biome linting, so I think I will want that. So copy these. Let me just copy the whole folder and paste. And yeah, I do want to undo that. So somehow I managed to do what I didn't want to do. So we'll remove extension. Here's what I'll do. I do like editor config. I don't know that I need Vitest Explorer or Vitest Explorer. There you go. It's nice to recommend extensions. We don't need to have the Tailwind stuff in here anymore, so that goes away. And task is just related to biome. Okay, cool. What else do we want to copy over? Like copy over the storybook config. Should all be relevant. And the GitHub config as well. Yeah. If I suspected I was going to be making a lot more different front-end projects, like if I if this was something I was doing like for clients and stuff, I might be tempted to have some kind of template repo or something where I could just do something like npm. I think there's like an npm create command now, right? That's a thing, right? Nice. Okay, anyway. So we got all of that stuff. We have our get ignored that we copied over. I think this is good, so we're done with that. Next step to do is, let me go ahead. I know that I want RA data local forage. Sure. This may take a minute. And so anyway, what RA data local forage does is it's a data provider for React admin that uses local forage. So it, as it says right here, it can use IndexedDB or WebSQL or a fallback to local storage. So it's just a local in your browser data store, which is handy for just testing things out initially. And you can also do things like you can have static data, default data for it to start with. Yeah. And then there are some other dependencies I was looking at, like Luxon, that we'll need because I already have some plans. I did actually think about the stream, like what we were actually going to do besides setting up a new project. Specifically, I call it a calendar here. But what I want to do is I want to have a scheduler essentially for my streams, right? And so here's the bullet points of requirements for this, right? So I want to be able to create I call it a series here, a scheduled stream. Is there a better word for what this thing is? So this would be something like, series might be the closest, because the idea is this is so to put it in terms that I'm very familiar with outside of the context of streaming, this is essentially a recurring meeting. This is I want something that is essentially a recurring period of time with a title, right? And it can have a finite number of occurrences or an infinite number of occurrences. And we can look at it by either looking at a list of these scheduled entities, or we can look at a calendar view. And we can put a bunch of metadata in them. For example, stream tags, category, prep notes. The idea being that ultimately, outside of the context of what we're building here, there would be a way to take this information and say, oh, well, today is Sunday. Here is something that's scheduled for today, Sunday, November 17th. And then you would be able to click a button and it would push the stream tags and category into Twitch, right? So that's the thought. That's the idea. And maybe at some point, npm install will actually finish and we'll be able to do more. Um, and then beyond doing all of this stuff, which might be actually some or all of this might be achievable today. Also having a user profile with at least time zone and I'm calling them vacation days here, but days that I'm gonna be like, I'm actually gonna be out of town and I can't stream, um, which will affect like how this all works, right? And then there's much more that I want to do once we get there, and then this is all old stuff, past here. So lots of ideas, and we'll see how far we get. Okay, while we're waiting for npm, let me go back over to GitHub, and we're gonna do some settings adjustments here. Let's see. I want to turn on. I don't think I want to turn on wikis or issues or projects for this repo, and I'm going to turn off merge and squash commits. I like doing rebase merging only. Suggest updating pull request branches, allow auto merge, automatically delete head branches. Oh, okay. And I will probably want to add rules for branches at some point. Code security. I think I'm going to wait to turn this on. I don't think, yeah, good. I guess it's just not going to do anything, right? Because currently we have an empty repo, so it's not going to know to do anything. Enable version updates. Well, no, I'm going to be doing that manually. Let's do this. Okay, we'll need to wait for us pushing this. Why does it take so long? I don't know.
You and me on the Charles River. I could die right now, Glenn. I'm just happy I've never felt.
Yeah, so we'll come back to that. Oh, progress. Finally. Okay. So that should have updated package JSON. There it is. We're gonna just say _5, which will match how we're doing React admin. Here's a question. Why do we want some things as dependencies and some things as dev dependencies? Like ultimately when we do a build, the result will be something that is totally bundled together. I feel like these probably all should be listed as dev dependencies. Great. So that gets our initial project setup done. Let's actually try to do something here. So let's do npm start. That will load a blank page. Hooray. Failed to load main.tsx. We don't have a main.tsx. Okay, let's load that. Where is it looking for that? SRC. So let's make an SRC folder. Create a main.tsx. Const root element. Yep. Cool. Render is deprecated. How is this supposed to work? Create root. Container. Okay, we'll take their example. So what's supposed to happen is this. And we could do container X, I guess a way of saying this, container bang, right? So, but I don't want to, because I would rather do that. Now let's make an app.tsx. And we're gonna create a function app. Return. There you go. Export default app. Why? There you go. Great. Biome is configured as formatter, but it cannot format TypeScript JSX files. That is an interesting statement.
I saw it when I walked, boy.
Interesting. Yeah, for supported files. Does Biome not support TypeScript TSX files? Let's see. Formatter. Multiple languages. Yeah. TSX. Okay. Well, you have Biome. Okay. That's odd. Well, anyway, can we... Let's see, how do we... R insert to reload server. There you go. So now, if I go back to here, still don't see anything. No container. Okay, great. Success. So we're looking for a div with an ID of root, and in main, I see. There we go. It's an app. Okay. Well, that was a lot of work for a couple of words, but now we can do everything else. So, uh, what I want to do here is I really want to kind of just like take this step by step. So, what does that look like? So we have our dependencies. I just a note here that music is loud in my ear. This is just a note to me that React Admin, it uses Material UI, which I normally shorten to just say MUI. And so the components, any custom components that I build will also be built with that component library. But my intent will be to make like simple wrapper components around things so that should I eventually switch things to use Tailwind, I can just swap those components. And then all of the like higher level components that I build will just work. So that's the plan. So let's take a look at React Admin v5. And there was a blog post back in June, kind of outlining all the cool stuff. We are using React Admin 5, I think, in most places. Let me check in our work so far. Vite add. Okay, cool. Commit anyway. Push that to main. So now, looking at the repo. Excuse me. There we go. We have a repo. The very empty README, but it's something. And we have our unit test workflow running. Biome needs to hold on. Let's see. Biome. Is it check? Yeah. There's one command that does. Okay, there we go. Just linting issues. Yeah. Anyway, push. Biome. So there's biome check, and there's biome. Let's fix. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that I have that I copied from the other project was this GitHub action workflow that does that runs biome CI, which is this custom command I added to the package JSON. So that'll check on things. I guess that still fails. Ultimately, this is going to fail because we have no unit tests. That's fine for now. Somewhere I had a tab where I was going to enable code security checks. Okay, let's set that up. Probably need to refresh this page. There we go. Now it detects the language and enable. So that I'll do some automatic vulnerability analysis on any code that gets pushed to main. We have some other fancy things automatically turned on. Do we have secret scanning? That's good. I'm usually pretty good about not accidentally committing secrets, but it'll be good to have that check in place anyway. Okay, so that's the project setup. Right. I was gonna say, I think the glowing telegram project, for instance, its front end, the existing front end, is already on React Admin 5. Yeah. And so almost certainly the other repos where I'm using it recently are as well. But that doesn't mean I'm necessarily doing things the proper way, since those projects are just kind of. I think I maybe have started. I started the front end for Glowing Telegram on 4 and upgraded to 5. I don't really recall anymore, since it's been approaching a year that I've been working on this. That has to be the case, right? Because 5 came out in June, and I've been working on Glowing Telegram since December or January. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, requires React 18. There's more TypeScript stuff fixed up. We have some things for testing and some walkthroughs on how to upgrade. RA language English. Interesting. You know what I should do? Let's go to let's see. How do we get to the docs? Let's go to home. So this is the people that are behind React Admin, their website. Can we? Yeah, there we go. Just trying to find a link to React Admin, and we go to the documentation. Let's get started. So they have a thing where you can use React like npm and then React Admin, yada yada yada. Let's see. What does this actually do? Let's find out. So this is using create React Admin. That should be in it. The npm should be a package here. And I mean, this is almost certainly a looking for a link to GitHub or something, and I'm not seeing that. Okay, well, we can look in here. Oh no, that's all built stuff. Where? Okay, it's probably a package instead of React Admin. So let's go there. There we go. Create React Admin. So what does this actually do? So there's a template, common, a bunch of things, package JSON. So React Admin 5 something, and then a bunch of things. And this is why I wouldn't necessarily want to use the template, because it's using ESLint, and I'm trying to use Biome. So yeah, I have my own project setup stuff. I just want to see if they were installing anything else alongside of React Admin. Seems like maybe no. Maybe there's some other logic in here. It seems like they have. You can specify the data provider and auth provider, and you can tell about resources, and it will auto generate things for you, which is nice, I guess. I mean, that's nice for them, but do they have a version of this walkthrough that outlines how to set up things without using it? Okay, so let's here. And in our app.tsx, we're gonna do this. We're gonna create a file called data provider. TS? Yes, should be. And what I want to do is get the docs for RA data local forage. So we're just going to say something like this. Yep. Do I want to do that like that? Probably not. How are they doing this? How are they doing this? Response data provider equals JSON server provider. And that is a promise, presumably. So maybe the data provider. Let's work from here. So we're going to admin. Oops. Admin. Yep. There you go. And we need some imports. Great. Right. So the type here, it's a data provider or a legacy data provider. See if I go to this link, maybe this will give me some actual documentation on how this is supposed to work. Nope. Can we go to this type? So what is the type? Data provider. Interesting. Okay, so it's not some kind of it doesn't represent a promise. So then I guess the documentation here is accurate, and that what we need to do is we need to do this to get at the data provider. Provider, start data provider. Where's this coming from? Oh, right here. I see. Okay. Yeah, we can do that way. So. Okay, let's make a little bit of room here. And that's nice. I'm just going to copy all of this. And let's use that. We're going to import. And we're going to add that import. And we're going to add that import. There we go. So, if I go back to here, there you go. We have a whole new thing. React admin. Your application is properly configured. You can add a resource as a child of admin. It's pretty cool that they have that kind of default thing set up. Uh, I gotta say, I don't think if I've seen this like this, it's been a long time because usually, like I'm from the get go, having resources there. Okay, so let's go back to the docs. Getting started. Okay, so we have our data provider. Ours, the setup looks a little bit different. Using API as the data source, so they have some talking about using a different data provider here. Mapping API endpoints with resources. So now they want to talk about creating a resource and giving it a name. And we can try that, right? So but then I have to come up with a name for the resource. That's not going to be posts. We're also going to use... I'm going to try using list guesser. I'm going to guess that is not going to work well with how we have essentially no data. But this is going to be... The name of the resource is essentially like, you know, what we want to be able to edit, create, delete, list, etc. Let's call it a stream plan. Yeah. Now, are there some conventions around how we want to name this? They use lowercase. I wonder if this is, it should be like this. Stream plan. Guesser. And I guess we're already importing resource. So go back to the front end. There we go. By having a resource with the name stream plan, we have a sidebar called stream plans. And there's nothing in it because we have no initial data set up in our data provider. I think what I want to do for this, if I go back to the docs for local RA data local forage, there's an example where they have default data, right? When they invoke local forage data provider. So what I'm going to do, call it default data. I'm just going to call it default data. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import from JSON, which is a file I will create. Maybe not in SRC. Up here, we'll create a default data.json, and we'll just have an empty object there. Now that error goes away. And then what I want to do is, instead of this, I need stream plans. And it doesn't like it because I didn't quote this, and this is supposed to be JSON. And then we have an object. And everything has to have an ID, so that will definitely be there. We'll have a name, coding on Sunday mornings, on Sundays. Yeah, something like a name and a description. That's probably a good start. And then I'll add more stuff in here as we go. Right, so we have some default data, and maybe that shows up here. localhost default data.json import was blocked because of disallowed MIME type. Interesting. And it's invalid now. That's not surprising. Why is it invalid? Lots of warnings that have nothing to do with anything. Found at position -1. Great. Default data.json. Data.json. What's the problem? Seems like there isn't any problems. Maybe an old error. Okay, let's take a look at this. So the name here needs to align with the name of the resource. Right, resources stream plan. Interesting. Should it be singular or should it be plural? Okay, we're done with that tab. So if I change this to stream plans, there we go. Okay, and that doesn't affect how, like, React admin's logic for translating the name to this is unaffected by that. It sees it's plural already. So we have a list. So I think that means that if I wanted to add some other examples, I would probably have to do a hard refresh. There you go. And the list guesser component here looks at the data coming back from the simulated, from the data provider, right? And sees that there's an ID, a name, a description. And so it shows those columns. Okay, so that's a start, but not really what we're actually after. I mean, this is the beginning, right? So now that we have this working, let me actually bring these out of here. We go this out. Now the next thing to do is to work on this calendar, right? So there's some additional fields that we want to add here. Yeah, there are some things we want to do. I think. What do I think? I think I will start by working on the JSON here and kind of fleshing out some data, and then the list guesser will give us a list view that will show us that data, but I will want to go back and make a custom list view because we're going to have actually several different alternative ways of looking at that data. Not to mention we'll want to create an edit view and a create view so that new data can be added to this as well. So we have a name and a description. I think those are reasonable things to have. What else? So start time is interesting, but probably not what I want. I probably want like an effective date. Right, so this is the date in which I want the schedule to take effect. Yeah. I'm just thinking it'd be nice if this was not JSON. Man, if we could just like import TOML. I don't know of what we could do there, actually. But anyway, yeah. So effective date, and then end date. If we want the schedule to end, like, if this was like for a Do I want that? Potentially. I guess the question is, do I want to say a number of occurrences, or do I want to put an end date? I think either is fine, and they can be equivalent. Like in the UI, I could say I want this to occur 5 times, and then I could translate that to an end date. But then would have to convert back. What is going to be more useful? I'm going to think about that, and we're going to take a break for a couple of minutes so that Twitch can do its ad thing. And I'm going to go stretch my legs, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes. So, BRB.